All right, let's take a look at the fluid loaders and unloaders and whether or not they've needed changes. Let's look at one that's normal side up. So it's going to be I don't even know that I need to change this, do I? So let's take a look at this. Because these are kind of the same, right? Interesting. Maybe I can make this work there as well. Let's take this, which is a special case. Well, I always start with the loaders, so let's... So many things I want to change here. All right. I'll start with the unloaders. Need to get a clear sight of what I'm trying to do here. Or this is what already exists. Hmm. Why is this not lined up with this? Now I'm just procrastinating, by the way. It's almost close enough. And I don't know what this one is. Is it the same as the bear one? Oh, this is the unloader. Is it this unloader? Why not just put the unloader right here? Okay, so this is the current unloader for fluids. And there's some things here that I just absolutely need to keep. But I want to use the template for the current unloader, or for the new unloader. That's too close. I don't want to have to deal with that. Okay. So the premise here is that I put the balancer outside. And I put the lane collars inside. But the loaders inside. The load requesters. Which I think I can just replicate here. So I don't need this balancer. Oops. So this chest linked to all those chests. Which, by the way, am I missing an underbelt here? An underpipe? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Mustache. Hope you're feeling better. Yeah, that's bad to have that there. Yeah, that is good. Long-term illness is challenging, to say the least. All right, so I really want this to be identical in all cases, so. Thank you. I'm going to go visit family in Michigan and Pennsylvania. Kanoda, hello? Yes, sorry, Mustache. I forgot to sign in before I went live. Oh, Kanoda, I differ with you on that, and I differ with you on that tremendously. I need my family so much. And I can still play Factorio while I'm there. Fluid unloaders. I'm looking to see if I should be placing these differently. And it's looking more and more like I should be. Like on the outside, if it was on the outside here, it would be bad for me, but I'd have to shift, that's all. But I have to shift anyways, right? Around the outside. So I think I'm going to do what I feel I need to do, which is to move all of this here. That's just a given. I'll figure that out later. All right, wiring. You two are wired together. If this were just simply placed here, the lamps are in the way and cannot persist, although they could move. What we have here is that the outside chest The red wire, outside chest red wire, goes to here. And the greens we don't care about. And then these need to be wired to these two tanks. The two things I need. Burke. No longer K2, just the MegaBase. How are you, Burke? But it's a MegaBase on Earth. Give me a second, I'll pan out. Oh, I finished K2. If you want to see it, it's up on YouTube. I mean, I started in Europe this time, and Portugal was kind enough to be a nuclear power plant. It's going well. I'm into the Blue Belt Beacon version of it, and I'm just getting a knowledge set going on. Launched a few rockets. 24. I'm doing science over here in Saudi Arabia, but part of my reason for doing science this way is because I want to flesh out my concept of a production stack. In this regard, a production column, where I mean, you look at, let's do a simple one here, like red circuits here. If you imagine that this wagon is a column, I want to be able to process that column independently of other columns so that I don't have a whole bunch of balancing and stuff going on. So I have this concept, and I'm still working through the logistics of getting the trains to behave the way I want, and I'm doing it in this small space. And as it gets more complicated, I'm finding these little issues cropping up, and I'm addressing them. I'm trying to do it in a standardized fashion so that I can more or less. I mean, I don't like the idea of cookie cutter, but when you get the beacon builds, well, beacon builds are cookie cutters, so there's not a lot you can do about that. All right. I'm gonna have to build this to see what numbers I get. Yeah, I guess that's it. Okay. So I need to get electricity over here so I can see what numbers I have. 12K, huh? So this is 12K and 8K, which is 75% and 50%. So what I want is for a stack size here and my multipliers, this is times 80 and this is times 120. So I need to find a stack size that gives me, well, let's try the easy one, half of a tank. So if a wagon can hold 25K, I needed to summon a train for S2 when there's 50K, and S1 is when there's 175K or 25K free. So you can't see it, but I've got a text file open. Sorry. Stack size is a question. A single side is going to hold 50,000 fluid. No, wait. A single side. Yeah, that's all four. A single wagon holds 25,000 fluid, right? So I'm going to train at 50K minus 25K, which means 25K, which is 50%. So I don't have the same numbers. But that's about all I can do, really. Because so that's got 25K, that's got 25K. This has got 50K. Because a wagon holds 25K, and I've only got two tanks, I would need four tanks to have the same functionality as the four chests, but the real estate space there is too much for me to deal with. So what I'm looking at is what value of stack size for fluids gives me a 1 of 25K and a 2 of 0. Because what I'm saying is I don't care if you supply this or not. If the contents of these two tanks goes below whatever one is, then you want a train. So I need D, or I need 1 to come out to 50K. And right now 1 is 12K. That's 30K. Getting there. No, that's wrong. It's got to be 25K. That was the wrong direction. So that's fine with me, 24K. By the time it gets here. So that's fine. If it falls less than 25,000, then request a train. I wasn't supposed to be changing that. That was the wrong thing to change. So now we're back to where we were. This is supposed to change. $28K at 240. Let's try it at 200. 24K, that's fine. And then what's 2? 2 is 16K. I'm probably okay with that. What if I make this 150? Then I'm summoning a train at 18K and at 12K. I want to summon a train at 25K. So here we're summoning a train at 24K and at 16K. And the only way I could change this is to change this value. And I really don't want to mess with this. So I think I'll just call this good. Hi, Smokin'. We have not FFF'd yet. What would you like for me to opine about FFF? It's not a shocker, it's not a barn burner. It's just good quality information. It's what we as the players need. Yeah, well, we talked about how that would be useful. Yes, it would be. Yes, indeedy doodly. Now, what do I want to do with this unloader? Let's find the simplest unloader I can, or loader I can. Preferably one that has pipes. Convert this to all fluids. So I want one that's bare. Or just 0. This is, yeah, kind of. Movie scores. Because why not? It's fun. Alrighty. I don't need any of these for this. Alright. This is an unloader. I need a loader. So this is what a loader currently looks like. Very similar. Except for we're not going to the pole with this red wire anymore. We're going directly to the combinator. We're going from the tank to the feed of this. This is the loader, so I want that on the inside, around the inside. And then I need the red wire to go from the tank to this, and from the tank to that. And the other one takes care of it. Now the question is, can I standardize the balancing between fluids? I'll put a reminder for myself down here. Made a mistake there. Yeah, I made a couple mistakes there. Did I really come up with 200 as my stack size for fluids? Okay. So ideally what I would do is this. I don't know that I can get away with this in all of my builds, though. I might have to refactor some things, but this is what I actually want it to be. That's a banger. Alright, well, let's see if I can make it happen. So I have to remind myself to not copy. Well, I can copy this over, but I have to remember not to grab this because it's going to have the wrong stack size. Let's whack all this. Start trying to implement a new loader, unloader for fluids. That's the loader. That's the unloader. I am confident that I can do this. Ooh, I've got to get this over here too. I totally forgot about that. You've got to get this output out on the red network. This has to be gas. This has to be yellow oil. This has to exist. You are taking red, so you are inputting and outputting green. Oh, yeah, you interrupt this, don't you? And you've got to get your input from the red, which has to come from a custom power pole. Which needs to connect to the major network. Where that should be. I don't like it, but that's where it should be. That should be one lower if we're going to maintain that consistency, but this was chosen Let's just rewire these. I would really like pipes to stay in the same design methodology as belts. Now, if this were a belt unloading, a single belt unloading, it's not the version I remember. If this were, well, this is actually perfect because it's a 2 input. This is how I want this to look. Great. I want to use this as a template. But without that. Ouch. So I know that if there is an underbelt here, I need to find its partner. It would look like that. Fantastic. So I really want to replicate these unders, and then I'll figure out how to deal with it later. So we'll start with this side. Start with the middle. And this is going to be the oil that's coming in. And that's got to go here, which is pretty straightforward for this one. But in order for that to work, that means I have to be willing to do this. I think I'm okay with that. So this doesn't interfere with anything. So let's just replicate this and be good with it. That's pretty much a known good. Now, I didn't get the unloaders on this side, but they've got this kind of a gap because I want that consistent gap on all of these. So it would be here. Now for this, I really want... Now for the ones that have a RoboPort in them, I'm going to have to do some sort of adjustment, but... Looking at it from here... I think I'd rather have it one farther down. If I look at how I'm going to be doing plastic, I'll be bringing the gas from that angle. Oh yeah, I wanted to go look at the RoboPort on plastic gas. It's not an issue because we're not bringing the gas there. And if we brought it in and where it is there, it would bypass the RoboPort. So I've got these being dumped off in the wrong spot, making my life more difficult than it needs to be, but I'm keeping these consistent. Why wouldn't this be here? Why did I delete that? Inquiring minds want to know. Does this actually crack anything? Blah. So you need to get to there, and you need to get to there. You need to get to there, and you need to get to there. So the simplest solution for a bunch of these is me to do this. Because I have this main pipe right there. And then let everybody else fight it out. So you're going to have to squeeze through here. Something like that. You two being next to each other is a bit of a challenge. That's why C wasn't there, is because it was pushed up so I could do that. That makes sense. That makes sense. Because you two basically can't coexist. Now, if I was willing to break my rules and run that all the way north... I like that. I like that too. Now I may go back and make some other changes.